Hello and welcome to the Christian Life Coach podcast. I am Shanna, your Christian life coach. Welcome to episode 21 of the Christian Life Coach podcast. I just re-listened to part of a book that I absolutely love. I love the whole entire book. And this one specific chapter just blew my mind when I read it for the first time. And I was listening to a podcast that kind of directed me back to this chapter yesterday. And so this morning, listened to the chapter again, and it's just so good. And it's not what I normally teach or coach on. And you'll understand why in a minute. And also it kind of goes along with the 7-day challenge that begins this coming Sunday. So without further ado, let's dive in. So Chasing Cupcakes by Elizabeth Benton is an amazing book if you are working on creating any positive change in your life. She talks mostly about weight loss, and some about finances, mostly about weight loss, but it's applicable to anything. The principles that she talks about is applicable to any positive change that you want to create in your life. And it is so good. Chapter 16 is titled Maximum, back up. Chapter 16 is titled Experience Maximum Effort. And I remember I listened to it on Audible, and I remember listening to this chapter, and I was standing in my kitchen when we still lived in Washington, and I was in the thick of weight loss. I had probably lost at that point, about 70 pounds. I ended up losing 82 pounds. And I just remember as I was reading this chapter, she talks about giving yourself the gift of experiencing the impact of going all in, basically. Giving yourself the experience of what maximum effort feels like, what giving maximum effort, how that impacts you mentally and physically, and who you are when you're doing that. And it was so good. And I remember thinking, this is what I'm doing. I wish everybody could experience this. And I was just like, yes, this is exactly it. And she talks about the phrase, and she hated it then, and I don't think she feels any different about it now, but she used to be told, nothing tastes as good as thin feels. And I remember when I first heard that phrase, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. Except that, like her, at that point, I didn't know what thin felt like. I had never been thin, but I know how good cake is, and I know how good cookies are, and I know how pleasurable it is to give in to that thing that I want. So I know that feels really good. And this stuff tastes really good. But until I read this chapter 16, and like I said, I was in the thick of it. I was giving maximum effort. I was doing the things. I felt amazing. I felt so proud of myself. I felt so capable and strong. And I thought nothing has ever tasted as good as I feel right now. And I wish I could tell you that I held on to that and continued to give maximum effort. But things happen, life happened. I allowed myself to slip back into permissiveness. I gained part of that weight back and have been working ever since to get it back off. And over time, I let old patterns creep back in. And so just rereading this chapter of this book, and now of course I want to go back and reread the whole book. It was just that it was the reminder that I needed. And that reminder of I literally remember standing in my kitchen thinking, nothing has ever tasted as good as I feel right now. And we don't all get to experience that feeling. Most of us have never given us the gift of feeling what full effort actually feels like, what it feels like to go all in, to commit. These are the things, this is what I want. These are the things that are going to get me to that goal, and I'm going all in on them. So most of us, and me, honestly, at this point, it's kind of like straddling, like I do it for a few days and then I give in, or I do it really well in the morning and then in the evening I give in. And it's kind of like little quitting and then starting over. Little quit, start over. Little quit, start over. And one of the quotes that she says in this chapter 16 is, we haven't created an uninterrupted string of days or weeks where we do our best and take impeccable care of ourselves without exception. Let me say it again. We haven't created an uninterrupted string of days or weeks where we do our best and take impeccable care of ourselves without exception. And I would like to add with that, because you can do this, you can put in maximum effort and it can be white knuckling. It can feel like you're pushing. And I want to refer back to previous episodes, especially, I think it was the most recent one on desire on purpose, creating that emotion of desire because you want this thing. So it's not, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. No, it's, I want to experience what maximum effort creates in my life. So I want to create an uninterrupted string of days and weeks and months and years where this is what I do because it feels amazing. Not because I have to, not because I need to, not because I should. All of that should, need, have, that's all going to lead to giving in, giving up, and beating ourselves up. And that's not what it's about. So we want to do it from the right mindset. I want to preface with that. Most people do not know how good they could feel because they haven't stuck with it long enough. And there's a visual of a person digging in a mine, and there's two, the top and the bottom. And on the top, he's just at the beginning and he's digging, like he's all in. And then the bottom picture is he has made a lot of progress, but he is giving up. He's walking away. And you can see in the picture that if he had just used that pickaxe 3 or 4 more times, he would have broken through. And that's what we do. We white knuckle until we can't white knuckle anymore. And then we give up right before the breakthrough. And so we don't even get that experience of what it feels like to reach the goal, or to even just the feeling when you are going all in, when you're working hard on something, but the good hard, like it feels like you feel accomplished, you feel satisfaction in a job well done. Yesterday, I got all of my checks on my habit tracker and I went to bed feeling so accomplished. Like, yes, this is how I want to live every day. This feels so good. Do I still have weight that I want to lose? Yes. But just being the person that put the effort in felt amazing. And like I said, you know how cake tastes, you know how the cookies taste, you know how it feels to click buy on Amazon, but do you know the feeling of being fully in integrity in the process, in the progress that you're making, because you are sticking to the plan. You are doing the things that you have set out to do to accomplish that goal. And that is where that just that amazing feeling is. It's easy. It's not like I have to generate this amazing feeling. It generates itself because of that sense of accomplishment that you have. When you go all in, your progress feels better than giving in. Period. Like that's end of story. And I know I'm sitting here telling you that I haven't been doing it. I haven't. And I've been reminded of that person, that woman that went all in, and it was so worth it. The thrill, that feeling of pride of making the progress, it's so much better than the momentary pleasure of giving in to whatever it is. You get that momentary pleasurable hit, and then it's followed by shame, regret, the beat down, having to start over again. Instead of when you say no to that thing, like, no, I'm not doing that, I'm going all in, there's no downside because you know you're not missing out on anything. You know that even though it would have tasted good for a second, then you would have regretted it and it would have an impact on you going forward. And it's not even about reaching the goal in the end of it. I mean, yes, of course, there's a certain number that I would love to live at on the scale. There's a certain size pants that I want to just be able to wear all the time for the rest of my life. And I know that even if I'm not at that size or that weight, when I'm all in on myself, when I am taking impeccable care of myself, the number on the scale doesn't even matter because I'm being the person that I want to be and doing the things that I want to do that I know are going to lead me towards that number. I had a thought and it just left me. Okay. So here is a practical tool, help, if you are wanting to go all in on whatever it is. And it doesn't even have to be go all in on everything. It can be go all in on these things, these 1 or 2 things, or 3 to 5 things, whatever it is. Like, these are the things I'm committing to. I'm going all in, and I'm not going to entertain any other option for today. And that this is in the chapter 2, in chapter 16, entertain no other option for today. And so going into your day, okay, these are the things that I'm going all in on. I'm committing to this for today. And when the opportunity arises for me to argue with myself to go in, like, no, that's not even an option. I've already made this decision. Today, I am not giving into that. Today, I am going all in on myself and who I want to be. And I am willing to feel the discomfort of wanting a cookie, but reminding myself that I already decided I'm not having one. And it's a mindset tool. And all of this, it all starts with the way that we think. The way that we think creates how we feel drives our actions. if I am committed to no other option, there is no other option today except I am doing these 3 things, which means I'm not doing these other things. And that thought process helps me to feel committed. It helps me to feel decided. It helps me to feel determined. And it helps me, depending on how I'm thinking about it, I can generate that feeling of desire. I want success more than I want a cookie today. Am I saying you can never have a cookie again? Absolutely not. I'm just using that as an example. And when you want a cookie, you can plan and say, okay, I'm intentionally going to have this cookie, but I don't eat cookies when I am giving in because I don't want to feel other emotions. In the chapter, Elizabeth Benton puts forth a challenge. Go 14 days and whatever it is that you're wanting to go all in on, whether it's like, okay, these are the things that are getting to get me to my goal, I'm going all in on all of them, or here's a list of things that are going to get me to my goal. I'm picking these 4 things that I'm really going to focus on until I have those locked down, and then I can add one in, one at a time after that. Commit to, and she says 14 days. Put your best effort into 14 days without any outs, entertain no other options, and see how it feels. Give yourself the opportunity to experience a stretch of time where you are all in, taking impeccable care of yourself. And once you experience that, once you know what it feels like, you can always go back. I did. You can always go back, but give yourself the opportunity to see what it's like to be the person that takes impeccable care of yourself. And she asks, what's one thing I can do today to give myself the gift of maximum effort? And I'll say this, so this isn't how I usually teach or coach, because I'm all about start where you're at, commit to what you're willing to do consistently, and do it from a place of love. And this does go along with that. Decide what you want to go all in on for an extended period of time and give yourself that gift. Start where you're at, commit to doing these handful of things for 14 days, for 21 days, for a whole month, whatever it is, and then go all in on yourself and keep yourself accountable. So if you're listening to this and thinking, yes, I've experienced that in the past. And like you, Shanna, I've backslidden, I've given in, I've allowed permissiveness to come back in. And I want to feel that again. I want to experience that again. I want to give myself that gift again. Or maybe you've never gone all in. Maybe you've never given yourself that opportunity, but it sounds like that might be something that you're interested in. I want to invite you. You can take your first steps with me. I am starting on Sunday, June 8th, 2025, a 7-day habit challenge where we're going to meet on Sunday and talk about habits, and you're going to choose 3 to 5 habits that you want to commit to for the 7 days. And the goal is to go all in on those habits for 7 days, entertain no other options. And there's a Facebook group. There's going to be support all the way through. We're going to meet in the mornings for devotions, so you can start your days off with your devotions. Everything's recorded so that if you can't make it live, you can watch the replay. And it's designed to just help you start showing up. And it's not about being perfect. It's being consistent. Am I going to try, like, my goal is for 7 days to hit these goals, to get my check marks on my habit tracker. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to be willing to show up. And you could start with this 7 days. You can start with 1 day at a time. But if you want to join the 7-day habit challenge, you can click the link in the show notes and get signed up. It's $7 and you're going to have so much support. It's going to be fun. And I would love to help you get started on this journey to experience maximum effort and show yourself what you are capable of. This kind of reminded me of last year. My word of the year for 2024, my word of the year was impact. And I wrote down the sentence that I wrote down almost every single day last year was, the impact of taking impeccable care of myself is immeasurable. And while I wasn't doing it, I was reminding myself that it's immeasurable, like in so many areas. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So I'm reminding myself of that, and I would love to welcome you in to help you start on that path as well. Again, go to the show notes, join the 7-Day Habit Challenge. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Shanna P. You can see my website, shannapeiser.com, and I would love to hear from you. Remember that life coaching is life changing, one renewed thought at a time. Thank you so much for being here.